too?
We can hear you fine, so
We'll find out.
yeah. and we're live.
And we're live. Showtime, people. Now I see the video is live. Hello, lovely people.
Oh, the replays went live.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, we are. They can hear us.
They can hear us.
I don't know.
I always love that. I always do a little shake out and shake my hair out and say, all right, here we go. And then it's showtime.
All right. So, hi, everybody. We are sharing our wonderful stream. So all the places that we need to share it, and then we will get started.
And hang tight. All right.
We always forget this. We gotta mute it through.
Oh, okay.
Roger.
We're still learning.
It's always this is the fun thing about small business here. It's a good start.
Definitely.
All right, I'm trying to see if I can see the posts or the live. Like posts. Not seeing it. I don't see that I shared it right.
Do you want us to share it in like any of your groups or anything?
Yeah, I was trying to share it right onto my Stars Beads page.
If you copy and paste the link, I'm going to send you the link in Messenger. If you copy and paste the link, it should, and just like post it as your page, it should work well.
Okay. I'm going to share too.
Cool.
Maybe I didn't do that right. Maybe I shared it to the wrong page. That doesn't help. Share to a page. Why didn't it let me choose my page?
Oh yeah, Kay, I think your son's just a little bit. How old is Jonah?
6.
6. Okay, so you know the sharing is caring song, I'm sure.
Oh.
Alex just started singing it.
I guess I feel left out. Like I don't know that I know that one.
Oh really?
That's
is it
terrible.
a Daniel Tiger one?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm a bad singer, so probably maybe. Okay, I'm just trying to share this on my phone. Okay,
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah, hang tight. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Right,
so if you can't hear or you can't see us, then we know it's working. We should have just our title screen up, and we are working on getting everything shared. And if we could ask you guys to share this broadcast to anywhere that you want to share it to, we would appreciate that. And then we'll get started in just a sec. We're working with a new setup here and getting all linked together. So bear with us.
Whoa, there you are. That's awesome. All right, let's see if I can hop on. Okay, hello everybody. I can't see what you guys can see. Oh, we haven't gotten to us yet.
Yep, Alex will do that now.
Okay. All right, we can see you. They can hear us. They can't see us. That was a good thing.
Yep, I think we're good.
Showtime, people. And
oh, split screen. There we go. There she is.
hello, welcome to Bead with me. I'm Kay, your host from Fantastic Stars Beads. Welcome. Sorry for that little 5-minute intro here of just us chatterboxes here in the background. But you guys, a lot of you guys know that I am moving into a new space, and we know what that means is that nothing is going to go as you planned it to, right? And that was one of the things we talked about yesterday of just being a little bit flexible, being able to kind of think on the fly. And you know what? I've met someone else who works really good here on the fly. So we've got this Abbi Berta here today, and I'm super excited. We are on a different stream than I'm normally used to seeing, so I'm going to see if I can find all of your comments. I always love saying hi. So if you guys are new to this show is a show for inspiration, motivation, and whatever is trending here in the bead life at Stars Beads. And we always love knowing where you guys are coming in from because this is an interactive show, okay? So we love chatting with you. So if you guys have questions or want something that you saw on screen, let us know, okay? You can throw it right into the comments and hopefully we're going to see them. So let me say a quick hello as I'm kind of figuring out how to see comments on here. I see hello, Miss Maria and Susan and Tammy and Sharon and Fern and Maria. A lot of new names to me since we're hooking up with Abby here. We've got Barbara Green. Oh, there's Paula and Hallie and Michelle. Oh, and Barbara, can you see us now? Hopefully you can see us. All right, you guys. So I'm excited here today to talk with Abbi Berta because, as we know, we've been talking about bubble beads, we've been talking about metal components, and I'm really sorry that my hair is so sweaty too, guys. You know that my air conditioning is not working in this room here, so
Oh no,
I'm sweating it out. But that's okay. So we've been playing with metal components this week and last week. And so I always love getting a chance to talk with the source itself. Okay. And so this time, since it's kind of small business week, I thought we could join another small business, Miss Abbi Berta of the Bead Place, and kind of talk about this sourcing that we have from this round, as well as just maybe some small business talk. We know that it is National Small Business Week. And if you guys are also part of the Great Bead Extravaganza, you know that a lot of us presenters are trying to give you guys quick little easy business tips and things that might help you in your small business. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of that today, along with showing off and hearing about sourcing here with Miss Abbi Berta. Hi, Abby. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for the invite. I'm really excited. I've been kind of admiring all of your your consistency to your live video schedule. That's definitely something that I wish I could get going. But as a small business owner, you know how schedules are sometimes a finicky thing.
Well, you know, that admiration goes both ways. You are an amazing YouTuber. And so I have watched a lot of your YouTube videos trying to work better on the video side of things. And so, you know, technology, you know, we all are a little bit different with our technologies, right? And I found I'm a little bit more comfortable just throwing it up live and kind of being spontaneous that way. But you do excellent editing, excellent videos. Course, awesome projects too. So
thank you.
Which leads us to this fabulous line, you guys. So if you guys are not familiar, Abbi Berta has introduced the world to these beautiful components. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to change the quick camera view for you guys so that we can see these parts a little closer, and then we can certainly ask questions. Oh, I don't know. Can I switch my camera? No, I can just switch it off.
Uh-oh.
Can I not switch my view on here?
Alex, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I just
camera maybe. I don't know.
Is there like the little button? Do you see the button where you would be able to switch the camera view, or no?
Like stop. I can edit my avatar. I can stop the cam. Okay, well, moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. I will figure this out the live way.
There we go.
So we've been looking at some of these beautiful parts with Abbi Berta. I'm going to see if I can show this well, but I can't really see actually what you guys are seeing.
Looks good. I can see it.
We can see it. Okay, so for a lot of you guys that are maybe new to Stars Beads, this is what we call What's on Your Wrist Wednesday, and this is when we post What's on Your Wrist. So I'm showing you guys a bracelet here today of some of the components that we're going to be looking at and talking about here today. So Abbi, these are some beautiful components that you have introduced me to actually quite a few years ago, and I have always continue to carry them in my store too. And I wanted maybe the audience to get a chance to hear from you about these wonderful things.
Sure, definitely. So our Art Metal Components by Anju line is a line of lead and nickel free pewter. It's designed by a wonderfully talented artist named Anju Garov, and she actually has a finished jewelry line where she makes beautiful cast pewter jewelry. Her family actually owns a casting company in India where she was born. So they make beautiful jewelry for boutiques, and we fell in love with this jewelry line whenever we met them. And we begged and pleaded for them to start making loose components because, when you're a jewelry lover, of course you love finished jewelry as well, but there's always something to being able to take components and create something else with them that is just, it brings so much joy to so many people. So after a lot of phone calls and a lot of begging, we were able to convince Anju and her husband that it would be a good idea for us to have access to their castings and distribute their metal component line, because we have a connection with all of these wonderful businesses like Kay from Stars Beads. You know, we've been going to the Tucson Gem and Mineral shows and Bead and Button, not only as shoppers, but as vendors for a number of years. And so it's just kind of great to find those connections and, you know, build relationships with small businesses. So once we got our distributorship, we learned more about the product, and we learned that it was fantastic for not just simple strung jewelry, but also for metalworking as well. So back to what the product is made of, it's lead and nickel free pewter, but then it's been electroplated with fine silver, copper, and brass. And then on top of it, it has an anti-tarnish coating. So it's great for incorporating into metal work and seed bead work and mixed media work. And so it kind of lends itself to all these different avenues within our crafting communities. And so I think that kind of having versatility, not only in the products that you're using, but also in the avenues that you're taking your business is so important as a small business. You need to kind of allow yourself to be flexible and kind of just go with the flow, kind of like what we're doing today, Kay.
Oh, that's exactly right. Oh my goodness.
So that's just a little background. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just loving the fact that these are actually made of pewter and fine silver.
Yeah, yep. Really high quality pieces, and that anti-tarnish coating that's on them, not only does it protect it from tarnish and discoloration, but it protects it from wear. So, you know, with regular plated products that may or may not be a thick plate, you know, with time and with wear and love, those platings can wear off, but the anti-tarnish coating on top of these products is thick. And so it prevents the platings from wearing off as quickly. And then also, if we think back to Kay's, was it your most recent live video, or was it one before that where you did the patina paints on these products?
Yeah, this guy right here, that was actually just here last week. I was messing around with doing the pendants here. So
yeah, so that anti-tarnish coating also provides such a great grab for applying textures and different finishes on top. So like Kay did the patina paints. If you caught our Great Bead Extravaganza project, you may have noticed that we did fingernail polish. Wait, where's the camera? We did fingernail polish on it. So you can get really creative with these products, and that anti-tarnish coating just kind of grabs and sucks on to whatever you're applying to the top of it. And then pewter's soft, so you can punch through it and rivet it and lash it with wire and just
If you caught Abby's clip in the Great Bead, didn't you use that in the Great Bead?
I did, yeah. So I showed a couple of different projects. We just kind of sped through it. Not this most recent Bead Extravaganza, but the one before that. And you can always go back and watch the replay. We showed different ways that you can just use the products. So Alex, would you mind going to the hand cam so they can see some of the
This is one of my, the cuff she's about to show you guys is one of my favorite. This is one of the ones that I just love. You know, I like my power cuffs.
Yeah.
Look at that. And it's perfect for What's on Your Wrist Wednesday, you guys. So if you guys are new to Stars Beads, oftentimes on Wednesdays is when we're posting What's on Your Wrist and sharing your creations and inspirations. So Abby came prepared for me today.
I tried. So yeah, there you can just kind of get as creative as you want with these products. You can use them just in beaded, strung, I shouldn't say just, you can use them in your simple strung beaded projects, either as charms or pendants, or you can just like punch holes in them. Like there's a brass cuff base right here. This is just like a simple brass cuff base. And you know, your local bead shop would have it. Kay, I don't know if you carry these or not, but they're like the
thinner ones.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe something kind of like this, but
Yes.
before it's been distressed. So it's really easy to just punch holes in these and whack them up with the hammer, do some patina on them, and then just use wire to secure stuff on top of it. And you can get a really advanced look, but you're kind of using the nice parts that are already created for you in order to, I don't want to call it a cheater's way, but to fast track your way to a beautiful handcrafted artisan product. So,
well, you know, recognizing a source, I thought that was kind of a good talk on just recognizing sources. You know, you may not make every bit of what you create, but it's also just as important. You know, we're supporting small business too, you know, so we're supporting a small artist, you know, trying to, well, I guess she makes finished jewelry, but we're also supporting artisans and other businesses to produce things for us to produce for you, you know. So those resources can be anywhere, you know, keeping your eyes open. Is that how you are, Abbi, finding your resources?
Yeah, definitely. We often look in our local community, not only just in our friend groups, but in our customer base as well, for people who do things outside of the box. So like, let's say you've got a friend who, you know, does pottery, and you've been admiring some of their ceramic bowls. Well, who's to say they wouldn't make some ceramic pendants for you? So you kind of, in my opinion, it's great to rely on those relationships that you've already established and kind of, like I said, think outside of the box in order to kind of find sources.
Think a lot of times your sources are also growing with you, you know, so, you know, the things that you ask for are oftentimes the things you guys as our audience are asking us for, you know, so we realize those are holes in the market. And as you guys are making for things, oftentimes that's how you guys are making, you know, what do women like, right? So the goal is making things that we feel that we need, right? You know, like those fabulous pair of earrings for homecoming or for the wedding or for whatever reason, or the classic white pearls that, you know, everybody's got to have those classic white pearls. Yeah. But I know that, you know, a lot of times, you know, you guys might have questions, and this is a time, you guys, I want to open up the chat room, okay, to have you guys ask us questions that you guys might have about, you know, doing shows. So yesterday I did a little blip about, you know, a few things about setting up a booth, some things that you should remember, some things about show setup and display. And so today I thought we could maybe talk a little bit what we were going to talk about today. Small business.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the questions that I get a lot of times was actually pricing. So if you guys have any other questions that you would love to just ask us, now's the time. I think one of the questions, going back a little bit, was whether we can use gilder's paste on this metal.
Yeah. Yep. I did see that question, and yes, you definitely can. You can apply gilder's paste. Here's yep. He's ahead of the game. I was going to say this piece right here, I'm not sure how true the colors are going to show, but there's the patina color that's on the metal here. And then we've also applied it directly to the piece as well. And this piece is maybe 10 years old, and it's been worn frequently, and it's holding up just as beautiful as day one. So patina paste works really well on the finish for these components.
Great. I have to work with gilder's paste a little bit more. I like the patina paints and mixing those right now. That's what I've been doing a lot more of.
Yeah, I am so scared of like liquid products for some reason. I know that it's not really anything that I need to be afraid of, but I really like gilder's paste because it's like, it's slow. It's a solid, it's paste. So I can just like really carefully move it to the areas that I want. And I don't know, I'm afraid to mess up anytime I make stuff. And so I like that.
No, that's part of creating, right? It's you're gonna, you know, you got to see what happens when you don't do it right.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I should try something.
Sometime you might come out with something, I'm hoping to find the next thing, like I was saying the other day about, the glue for Post-its was by accident, They didn't make
really?
it. Yeah, the glue was not as sticky as they wanted glue to be, and instead they applied it to Post-its, and there you have the next $1 million idea.
Hey, that's smart. But oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, one of the questions I oftentimes get a lot, I thought maybe of a little small business talk, is maybe about pricing. Do you guys have questions about pricing? Let me know. I'm used to Facebook, so I'm used to like little hearts and like thumbs up. And so I can't see them here today, but if you guys pop in the comments, we can certainly see them if you guys have any questions. Or what questions do you guys have when you are thinking about selling your pieces or doing a booth display or starting your business? Because this is a good week for it. If you guys aren't part of that Great Bead Extravaganza, just a reminder, there's going to be a lot more feeds, and there's going to be some going on today. Right, Abby? I think that there's a couple coming on tonight. I think there's going to be Jamie Yoshida. We were hoping to catch up with her, but it's a pretty busy week, so we aren't going to get a chance to do that this round. But I was hoping for my birthday. But we're both moving stores, and so that's hard. And Abby isn't moving a store, but she's been dealing with floods in her shop.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's another issue.
Yeah, we want to get into that. That's why we got
into that today, but there's a lot going on. I think, oh, wow. So Tammy asks, how do you price a piece that takes you 36 hours to make? That's a tricky question. So my answer might be different than Kay's answer. But what I would say is, figure out your market, figure out the techniques that it took to make, and how many people in your area or wherever you're selling have those advanced techniques that you're using to create a piece that takes you 36 hours to make. You always want to make sure that your material cost is covered, and a lot of times people will use a multiplier on their material cost based on whether they get it at wholesale or whether they get it at retail, and then just figure out how much you want to get paid per hour on it. So Tammy, if you could elaborate and tell us like what kind of techniques you're using for a piece that would take you 3 whole days to make, that we can maybe be a little bit more specific in pricing. But Kay, what do you think?
Well, I kind of think, like you said, oftentimes, it depends on your type of work. Okay, so seed beaters are a little bit like quilters. Unfortunately, you're never going to get paid for the amount of hours that you put into things. Okay, so maybe your products that you use may not cost as much as some other type of art. Okay, but yours takes more time. Okay, so those are the balances that you're going to need to take into account, like Abby says. So in terms of, okay, maybe yours takes more time than it takes materials. So obviously your time is going to be having to be the marker, the major marker for you. Okay, but I think another thing is definitely look at what the industry standard is. What are the things that you are competing against to know what do other people see? Okay, so they go to Walmart, they go to wherever they go to, and what are you competing against? Okay, now I don't like people to get discouraged with pricing, okay, because you are always going to be competing against big box stores, the Chinese production, mass production, and that's just something I don't want people to ever get discouraged by that. Okay, I touched base on it yesterday, is that as small businesses is that we are never going to be able to compete against Amazon. We can't compete against shipping prices. We can't compete against time frames. Okay, that's not what you come to us for. That's how I feel. When you come to a small business, even you guys that are selling your stuff, you're a small business, and that's not what they're coming to you as a small business oftentimes for, right? They're coming because you make their day happier. You give them a reason, to love a piece of jewelry, to love color, to love texture. Those are one of the things I love spreading on our show, right? Is the goal is to create, okay? And that creates in turn I think, happiness in other people's lives. They're buying a piece of you, okay? And that's really what they're investing in, is how you have made them feel. And they're taking that feeling and taking it with them, okay? That's why I feel like a lot of jewelry, wearable art, are things that we carry as talismans, you know, throughout our life and what matter to us. But, you know, in terms of pricing, it always can be difficult. Most important is kind of keep track. I know that's the hardest thing is keeping track of what you've bought and how much it costs. Okay, so you get a strand, you might need to break it up. You don't use the whole strand, right? So sometimes I know some people are very meticulous, and they'll get a strand, they'll count how many beads are in it, and in their bag they'll write, you know, how much each piece costs. Okay, a lot of us I know don't do that. It's very, very difficult. But if you want to get the best pricing, the best margins, that's the best way to do it. Okay, it isn't always easy, but sometimes you can at least guesstimate, you know, knowing you used a half a strand here, a third of a strand here, a couple beads there. Okay, keeping track is number one. Number two is, yes, the hours it takes and what materials it takes to make it. And three, kind of looking at your competition. I think those are three really good ways to go about pricing. But I think kind of if you're going off of, you know, you don't necessarily know all those things. I think usually if you're buying retail, usually about doubling your materials. If you are buying wholesale, you might be able to get a little bit more than that. Okay. But one thing I stress, do not undervalue yourself. Okay, that is, I think, the number one mistake that people make in terms of their jewelry is you are undervaluing yourself, the jewelry that you're making, when you are trying to compete with those big box stores. Okay, it's not worth it. Okay, and it's not fun either. And that is the goal. If it's not fun, don't be doing it. Right? We make jewelry because it's fun. I love beads. You guys know how much I love beads and the passion for beads. Abbi is the same way. Her mom and my mom and I, we both been doing bead stores for a long time. And so I think those are, you know, good ways to help pricing off the bat. You know, we've certainly done our fair share up and down throughout the years, you know, within our bead store. You know, some things you can get more from, other things you cannot, and you have to take it all into account. So hopefully that helps a little bit with your pricing.
Wait, Alex had a question come in on YouTube. So if you don't mind, let's have him read that because I can't see that far.
Okay.
Yeah, it says, how do you find local source and ensure their product is produced in the USA and confirm their claims? Question mark.
Go ahead, Abbi. What's your answer to that one?
I was just gonna say, make relationships with people, form those trust bonds with people that you buy from. Make sure that you have a good gut feeling about it. I mean, other than that, you know, check reviews online to make sure that that's not always the best way to.
But you know what? I think that's a great start, though, Abbi. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
word of mouth.
those are the things. You know, it's just like, how do you know spam? How do you know all of the, you know, like a good source is a good source? You got to test it. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't say don't go spending $5,000 on them to test it. You know, you buy a few of their products and you see if you like it. It's kind of like, here, do you guys like buying from us? Right? You've probably tried a product of ours. Okay. So now it's a thing we go on daily, and we talk about the product, we talk about the quality, we talk about where it comes from. And so just like Abbi says, getting close to your suppliers, understanding where they get things from. I can say I can't guarantee everything, but I do also know what vendors that I use that are my trusted sources that I've been using for over 20 years, you know, 20, 30 years. Okay. And those are things that, you know, others can't take away from you. Okay. Is those relationships that you build with them. And that way, then, you know, you're getting as best of information as you can from them.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask, because I imagine Kay's the same way. But if you know me in person, you know that I will never stop talking about beads. Ask me about a trade bead that you see on the wall, and I will tell you, I'll talk for an hour about it. So but those of us that are in the industry and have been here for a while and are here for the long haul, we're great sources of information. And we've got like random bead trivia bouncing around in our heads. And so, you know, we'll be upfront and open about any of the products that we carry. And if you're not getting that from someone that you're intending to buy from, that might be a red flag. And another thing to look for is collaborations with other businesses that you trust. If you see partnerships between companies that you're intending to invest in, if you've already, worked with a company that you've gotten products from, you really like the quality of the materials that you've gotten from them. If you see a collaboration or a partnership or even just a plug of another business from that company, chances are the company that they are going to, connect with, they wouldn't make that connection if it wasn't a reputable company. So I think there's definitely something to stuff like the Great Bead Extravaganza, and just groups like ours where, there's strong partnerships with companies that are the good ones. I know that that's kind of a weird way to say it, but that's how I feel about it. And I think that
you're 100% right on that. I feel we're so lucky to be part of a group like the Great Bead Extravaganza, because I think you are hitting that right on the nail there, Abby, on just what a special group that we have at the Great Bead Extravaganza. I think that as we are continuing and carrying it on, the next one's in June, by the way, that we keep finding how special these relationships have been and what kind of magic we are creating now because of them. Yeah, it's really special that way. All right, I'm going to see if I can catch some comments here, because I know I can't see them. I'm
just going to go back to add on to something that you said earlier, Kay. You said not to undervalue yourself. Just a quick note, it's so much easier to lower your prices if something's not selling than to raise your prices if your customers are used to seeing a lower price. So always err on the higher side for finished jewelry, because your time is, in my opinion, what's most valuable there. So
yes, and a lot of the things, not only undervaluing yourself, but actually undervaluing probably the fact that you didn't realize how much certain things are going to cost. So like your credit card fees, like your packaging, okay? Like I'm doing a lot more mailing now that I am, with COVID hitting, I have now had to invest in a whole different kind of setup, because I'm not used to the whole shipping as much as I am doing now, because I haven't been online. I am a very people person. I really feel, chatting, and which is what brought me to my Bead with Me's and doing these live videos, just because this is more my style, getting a chance to interact with you guys in the audience, as well as getting a chance to be real, okay? Because that's how jewelry is. You've got to feel it. You got to understand where it comes from, okay? And that's why you don't like buying, certain products online. It's not as fun and it's not as intriguing, okay? Because jewelry is very impulsive, okay? So I think that anybody who's even selling jewelry these days, I think hit the online market, I think that was another question about, how to find your audience, how to find, who to sell to, and really, it can be anywhere. And the internet, I know that it can be scary. Believe me, I was there easily a year ago, okay? That's why I probably watched a whole ton of Abbi Berta's videos probably before I started my lives, because I was very, very nervous about hopping online. And so I'm really actually excited to be here with you today, Abbi, and getting a chance to connect that way.
Thanks. I feel the same way about you. We both kind of bring different pieces to the table.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So anybody have any other questions? I think that, I was really excited to have Abbi on here today. Thought we'd, do a little tribute to the small businesses, as well as showing off, a little bit of our sourcing. Okay. Let's see. Michelle Reed also had a quick question. You also have to know your market, what your market is. Is it a young people who like minimalistic work, or people who may want work pieces? What are the current trends? I'd like to kind of comment on that. Is that, hold on, I'm sorry. This thing is going a little crazy, so I can't see everything. Yes, I think that's important, Michelle. But I also think that you also need to figure out what is your customer base, right? Like I like wire, right? So I'm not going to be trying to be finding the best seed bead designs, right? Because I'm not going to make them. I don't have time to make them, right? So, that's also another thing is what are you good at making? Okay. Because I feel like one of the things about making your jewelry and selling it is that if they have something that they can compare it to, that means they also have a price that they can compare it to. Okay. But you have a piece of jewelry that has amazing components, amazing parts, and there's nothing else like it. That means there's also going to be a price tag that is going to be nothing else like it to compare to. So they won't be able to necessarily know your ranging. Okay. And oftentimes, some things are looking so beautiful. And sometimes I take a step back and look at my finished piece, and some pieces they're like, yeah, that looks way, way better than I thought. You could definitely maybe get a little bit more. Or maybe like you put in a whole bunch of money and it just looks terrible. And you know that you're not going to be able to, you either cut that thing up or you sell it cheap or you give it away, right? So you got to pick your battles on that.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to jump in. Another thing is make what you love. If you are having a hard time identifying trends and matching your work to what you think will sell, don't do it. Just make what you like. And chances are you'll find some people that like that kind of stuff too. And
yes,
that's what I did. I make weird stuff. So
hey. Well, these guys know I like sparkly, I like sticky outy things, weird shapes, nuggets, and that's exactly what brings, each one of you guys to us and to people like us, as well as your audience is going to be the same to you guys. Okay. So they're going to find a style that you like. And it's a lot harder making a style that you're not in love with. Okay. And believe me, how much Abbi and I love beads, right? Because you can see what we're doing. Okay, so have that passion for it. Okay, that is definitely what you need to have if you guys are going to be selling. Is you better love what you make. Okay, it's a lot easier to sell what you like. Okay, because if I don't like it, I don't have to buy it and I don't have to sell it. Okay, right? Like that's kind of the beauty of it. Okay, and so set your standard early. Okay, so then that's not an expectation. What should they be expecting? Unique, cool, different, colorful, whatever. I love the rainbow. When it's my jewelry, it's probably blingy and lots of sticky outy things, and it probably has Roy G. Biv in there. So
I'm trying to find it now, and for some reason I can't bring it up, but I saw a mention about being consistent with Instagram. I've got a trick that I can share with you about coming up with content for social media. And I, fall on and off the wagon when it comes to consistency with posting on social media. And I think that's all of us. But what I do, just so that I have something available to share when I don't have it in me to create something, is when I have those pieces that I'm proud of, I'll take a ton of pictures from all different angles and put them on different backgrounds, just so that I'm staying in the algorithm, so that I have something to post that might be recycled content, but you're coming at it from a different angle. And you can share the same products, just shot from different angles, and just having something to post. The algorithms are going to like that. Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, any of those places where you're posting your work, they're going to rank you higher in the searches if you're posting on a regular basis. And your consumers, your customers, they're going to like seeing consistency, and they're going to get more familiar with seeing your name and seeing your work. And they might not even recognize that it's a piece that they've seen before. Maybe the feed didn't show them that project before. So it's okay to post the same content over and over again, as long as it's not exactly the same content. So that's my marketing tip for Instagram, to touch on that point.
I think that's a great tip. I know that, I think that all businesses really struggle with that consistency and really being able to show up each day. You know, I think that's another thing about small business, you know, is being consistent and showing up each day, you know, being self-motivated and having to produce, or, you know, wearing a lot of hats when you are a small business owner. It can be difficult, you know, and I know showing up in the social media realm is a whole nother job too, you know.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that I like using is the schedule your posts. So sometimes when you guys get hit with a creative moment, you know, it may be nice. You know, it's kind of like making your meals for the week, right? I know, remember, my
Meal
mom
planning.
used to like make all the casseroles or whatever and stick them in the freezer type of thing, right? So like
Yeah.
you're once a week, you think, okay, you know, don't force yourself right away. Don't say, okay, I'm going to post like 3 times a day, every day for, you know, like set yourself up for failure, right? Okay. Don't do that. Okay. You know, start out doing what you think is doable for you. Okay. So if your consistency is once a week, start that way. Okay. It'll be slower growth, but it's growth. Okay. And that's what you got to measure. Okay. So it's as much as you put into it, right? So if you put in once a week, you're going to grow. That's slow. If you are going to post every day, then that shows, okay, the algorithms like you. They will start showing your posts, like Abby says, okay, which is one of the reasons that, you know, kind of spurred me on to doing a bead with me literally every single day. It was definitely not a job I planned on doing as a bead shop owner, but here we are. And you know what? I have been having a ton of fun with it. And really, it has allowed me to move. So you guys are amazing in the fact of really that support that you guys have shown me as a small business has really opened up some different opportunities for me. And so I can't thank you guys all, you know, enough for all the support that you guys give the small businesses, and know that even when you support mine, see, you're supporting somebody like Abby who's supporting another little artist. Okay. So, those are the things to keep in mind when shopping small. All right. Did we miss any questions, Abby?
A lot of compliments to us both. So thank you.
Bring on the bling. I like that, Susan.
Yeah. I think we hit most of the points.
Awesome.
If anybody has any last minute ones to throw in, you know.
No, that was wonderful. I had a great time today with you, Abby, and we'll do another collaboration again soon.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. I am going to be taking tomorrow off. Okay, I didn't take my birthday off, but I'm taking tomorrow off, and then we're going to be hitting our Friday night live at 8 p.m. on Stars Beads Facebook page. Okay, so hop on over to there. Make sure you join our Star Special Stash group because we want to be seeing what's on your wrist here today. Okay, so we share our bead life, and we want to see your bead life. All right. So have a fantastic rest of the day. Thanks again, Abby, for joining us today. And we will see you guys on Friday at 8 p.m. on Stars Beads Facebook Live. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.